Folks at home, welcome back to RueTV Tonight. My name is Rue. It's been a while. It's been a long time. It's been a little hiatus. I hope you guys didn't miss me too much. I missed you all. I've shed many tears from the last time. I don't know, how long has it been? 3 or 4 months? 3 or 4 months since we had a talk. And I'm so looking forward to tonight's talk because, folks at home, we have the pride of Chicago, Illinois, the former pride of, I hope I say it right, the former pride of Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah,
Yeah.
Louisville.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And the current pride, of course, along with Dave, of Ratboys. Folks at home, we have Julia Steiner. Julia, how are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for being on the show. It's just I gotta calm down. Before I was just telling you before we got on the air, the hardest thing is getting my pets, specifically Maui and Juniper, out of this room. So they inhabit this room. This is the office. I
Oh,
have the Root TV set up here, and
love
now if
it.
you can't pick up any chewing because she's chewing a bone on the ground right now. You can't pick up any of that. She's really
No.
going. She's going to town right now. She's going to town. You all
Uh,
right now? Yeah,
I
she's all
don't
right. All right.
I don't blame her. That's wonderful.
It was. So I was thinking, like, during normal interviews, what happens is the host and the guest chit chat. We go back and forth, and then like the last thing that you get your plugs in and everything that's coming up. Honestly, at the top, I want to talk about this first before we get into the fun stuff. Not saying this isn't fun because it's one of the things most anticipated things I'm looking forward to, and that is Julia's Ratboys' new album coming out August 25th, and that is The Window. I love that artwork. I don't know, or the cover. I don't know how you came up with that, but that is awesome. So
Thank you. Yeah, it's an artist, a local artist here in Chicago named Jennifer Cronin.
okay,
Yeah, she's like a really talented painter, and most of her kind of distinctive style is this photorealistic style with like supernatural elements. And so
right.
we've admired her work for a long time. So we're so thrilled that she did the cover. It's a painting. It's beautiful.
So you have to elaborate on. It's awesome, and props to her. You have to elaborate on what the heck record of your dreams means, because honestly I have a lot of nightmares. And is Freddie on this album, or is it some sort of explain what that phrase means, record of your dreams?
Well, I mean, for us, a lot went into it that I had always just kind of hoped we'd be able to have an
Okay,
experience like this someday. Like, it was
right.
our first time kind of going somewhere far away, like throwing ourselves into this like fully immersive studio environment for
Gotcha.
3 weeks. We've never had that long to work on
Yeah.
a record. And yeah, it was like a dream in the sense that the four of us were there together every day. We were staying in a house together. For me
Yeah.
personally, dream come true because we were like cat sitting for our friend who had this
Okay.
like absolutely like magical, fantastically confident cat named Moose
Yeah.
who I was obsessed with. So she was there with us in the house, and like it was just like everything I could have dreamt making a record could be, as far as the like atmosphere
Right,
and
right, right.
the collaboration with this producer that we've admired and
Mhm.
loved for our whole lives. So yeah, it was just like something I could have, like, if I could have said this is what I want, it's like exactly what I hoped we'd be able to do someday. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's fair enough explanation for me. I mean,
yeah.
I saw the music video for "It's Alive" and really, really well done, and I love that song.
The stars are speeding toward the sign. Oh God, now it's alive. 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 It's alive.
You
Nice.
shot that in a looked like a house, and shot really
Yep.
well. So props to whoever shot that for you. Really good job.
Thanks. Yeah, it's this guy, John Tirick, one of our good friends. We've made music videos with him in the past for the Printer's Devil album. And yeah, we like mentioned that we wanted to do a performance video, ideally in an empty house. And it
Yeah.
was a random coincidence, but he and his partner literally closed on a house the week that we were going to be in Austin, Texas, where they live.
Oh wow.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, we like made that video literally the day that they like got the keys. So very grateful to his neighbors for not calling the cops, you know, for us being loud immediately upon moving in. But
Yeah.
anyway,
I love that. I love the spontaneity of that and just
yeah,
the DIY aesthetic of that. I just love it. And
totally.
it turned out perfect. But I love
Thanks.
that. I love that. I love the song. So everybody also there's a tour coming up, and most of you folks at home know I'm in the Philly area. They are coming to Johnny Brenda's on September 26th. So get your asses to Johnny Brenda's, one of my favorite spots in Philly. So
We
yeah,
love
go
it.
there. Yeah, absolutely. I think I don't know if that's midway through the tour or when do you guys start? I forget.
It's like at the
September,
beginning,
early
actually.
September.
It's just within the first
Oh,
week.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's early on. Good,
Uh-huh.
good, good. That sounds
Yeah,
good.
we'll be
Yeah.
fresh. We'll be
Yeah, for
nice and
sure.
you know, we'll be big-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to go. Yeah, first headline tour, so we're excited.
So it's weird, I know there's folks at home watching this who are discovering your music for the first time, or if they didn't, they're going right now and searching and looking up stuff if they didn't know who you were. Um, how I discovered you is kind of random. And before I get into that, I just want to ask something you've probably been asked before. How did you come up with, and you're probably tired of asking it, but I'm going to ask it again anyway. How did you, the name Ratboys, where does that come from and how did you come up with it? And then I'll tell you that'll be my segue into what I'm going to talk about. But
Okay, cool.
Ratboys is the name. Go.
Yeah, it was so Ratboy was weirdly enough, it was my high school nickname. I went to
Gotcha.
an all-girl Catholic high school and, you know, it was pretty wholesome, but to entertain ourselves like at lunch
Yeah.
in when we were 14 or whatever, my friends and I would just go around and give each other like ridiculous nicknames. And
Right.
I was Rat Boy, and I don't really know why, but it stuck for some reason. And it kind of just became this inside joke with my friends. And so eventually, when I started recording music, I was like songs I was writing by myself, I called myself Rat Boy. And then when I met Dave, we kept that name.
Yeah.
And eventually, we had to add the S because there was another Rat Boy out there. Not the British Rat Boy. He wasn't around yet, but an American Rat Boy in
Yeah.
Albany, New York, who also goes by Rat Boy Jr., who was very unhappy that we were using that name. So he bullied us, and we added the S, and yeah, the rest is history. So,
Well, I mean, honestly, that was how I see. I'm way late to the party. I stink. I'm late to the party for a lot of bands, awesome bands. I mean, I'm not even. I just saw Idols for the first time this past week.
oh man, how was
First
it?
time. It was amazing,
They
amazing.
rock.
Oh my god, it was insane. Franklin Music Hall, former Electric Factory, and
Sick.
yeah, my socks are gone. Got rocked off. So I just
Wonderful.
anyway, I was late to the Rat Boys party in addition to being late to the Idols party, and but it's funny because like normally today in 2023 you find music either through a friend or maybe you see a band open up for one of your favorite bands or through Spotify recommended, whatever. I just honestly, I saw the name pop up. I saw Rat Boys and I was like, huh, I have to listen to this effing band. I don't
That's
know. I
good.
was like, and I didn't even know the genre. I didn't even know what your sound you sounded like. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to a band named Rat Boys. So
That's cool.
the high school, the nickname paid off.
That's great. I wonder, yeah, I would love to know the breakdown of people who have had your experience and people who have seen our name and been like, I'm never listening to that. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, because yeah, it's a pretty stupid band name, but you don't choose
Well,
these things. Like,
yeah, no, you made a great point. I mean, there's probably a good segment of people who hear Ratboys and like, oh, stick their stupid note. Well, we don't want them anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely got put on a lot of like grindcore and like hardcore bills when we first started playing shows because people would just assume we sounded a certain way because of our name. Which, to be fair, I love playing shows with like diverse billing and stuff. So it was actually really awesome. But yeah, that was a thing sometimes. But hey. No complaints.
I mean, no, I hear you. And it's like, if you were, trying to think of something, if Ratboys was called like Julie and the Jules Gang, I don't know if you'd be sitting here right
now. Yeah, I don't know.
Nah, maybe you would be. I mean, I'd probably discover Julie and the Jules Gang too. It's
well, I'm glad it caught your attention. I'm glad the name caught your eye. That's cool.
I have a serious question. What the hell is going on with your White Sox? Because they're 32-44 right now.
Dude, they're such a mess. The Sox, to be honest, I've kind of I haven't been paying as close of attention as I normally would.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for them to wrangle me back in with some sort of exciting rally or like roster move, but I don't know. I am pretty concerned that they're going to trade away Tim Anderson at the trade deadline. And when that happens, and I'm saying when because I really think it will happen, I will be bummed. And the good news is tickets will probably stay cheap, so I'll get to go to more games, but it ain't feeling great right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming. I know the feeling. I mean, we're coming off of in my town. I'm right outside of Philly, of a World Series with the Phillies, and now they're kind of mediocre this year. So it's I don't know.
Well, hopefully they'll bounce back. That's kind of what happened last year, right? They were like not very good, and then they got really good at the end.
Midway through the they kind of So, but we'll see. We'll see about that. But
fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So speaking of Philly, I was lucky enough to catch Ratboys. Oh God, I think it was last July at a show in Philly at one of my favorite venues. So I said Johnny Brenda's is too, but also Philomoka. So folks at home, if you saw my last vlog video, that was a show at Philomoka that I vlogged, and Ratboys played a show. I believe it was, like I said, last July, and that was an amazing night. I really enjoyed that show. Do you remember anything about that night being in Philly and that show itself?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we love that venue also. I remember the artist that we played with, the Philly artist that opened the show, was called Just Mad Nice.
Yeah, right.
She total power move, and I will never forget this. She brought a rocking chair to the gig and like performed a lot of her sets sitting in that rocking chair, and that was like that blew my mind. I was like, holy shit, you can do that? Like, that is so sick. So that inspired me to like come up with a way to integrate that into, if not a Ratboys set, then maybe a solo set someday. Who knows? But anyway, they crushed it. And yeah, I mean, Philomoka is cool because it has this weird like projector setup that kind of you can project anything. And we had fun that night trying to decide like what to project behind us, because we didn't really have like a logo or like a visual loop or anything. So we were like, well, maybe we could use like an old movie or something, but we didn't want to like run into any, I don't know, like weird ads on YouTube or anything. I don't know. And so we ended up
copyright stuff.
Yeah. We ended up just using the projector to like project ourselves onto the screen, but then it creates this like visual infinite like feedback loop, which is kind of cool. So anyway, it was a cool atmosphere in that room because of the projector and the energy of the crowd. And it was really
absolutely fun. It's a fun night. And I have something that I got that night, and folks at home are going to be thinking that I'm an outdated piece of shit, but no, I'm just a nostalgic. I still buy CDs, and here is a Happy Birthday Ratboy that I bought. Now here is a DIY. I went to a Ratboys show. Okay. Went to the merch table. What did I buy? A CD. Okay, who did I buy the CD? Who sold me the CD? the person I'm talking to right now, Julia Steiner, just sold me the CD. So it doesn't get more hard. You're talking about like, oh, open up for hardcore bands. That's hardcore. Okay.
Yeah.
This is hardcore right here. But yeah, so I bought a CD that night. So awesome.
Badass. I love CDs. I collect CDs and tapes and
Mhm.
also vinyl records, but like CDs and tapes are great because they're much easier to store.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
They're
honestly,
smaller.
my Jeep still has a CD player. So I don't know. I just like playing
Love
CDs,
it.
and I know it's going out with the DVD and Blu-rays, but I don't know. I don't
Well,
think it'll ever.
hey, DVDs. I got really into collecting DVDs
Oh
during
yeah.
like 2020 during the
Yeah.
lockdown. We started watching movies on Discord with some
Mhm.
like fans and just like a community. And so people keep mailing me DVDs now, and I'm just like having
Oh,
a ball.
oh, you're still, yeah.
I have a
Okay.
robust collection of DVDs now, so I'm into it. I can't help it. I don't know why.
Yeah, been doing that for a while. I've tried to pump the brakes a little bit because I got out of hand for me because I have an entire Billy shelf downstairs filled
Nice.
up with old like horror and comedy and stuff like that. But before we get into something I want to speaking of comedy, I got to get into something. There's a song on this album that I have to talk about, and okay. And the song is, so first of all, I love this album. I really do. And
Thank you.
I have a feeling I'm going to love The Window even more. But there's a song on here called Cacao to Cacao. Now, I didn't hear this. I didn't hear the song until I put it in my Jeep and played it on my way home. And I'm listening to this song, which is a very sentimental, beautiful. It's a beautiful song, really. But it's also a little humorous because if you if you know the show Portlandia, you might know what cacao means. And Julia, would you like to smarten up the people at home who don't know exactly what cacao means?
Yeah. So there's the sketch in Portlandia. It's actually really early on in the show. I think it's like the
Yeah,
second episode of the first season. But
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
yeah, there's a sketch where the two main characters play a couple who are in love but having a bit of trouble in the
Mm.
bedroom, and so they come up with a safe word.
Cacao. I don't know, like Sophia wanted to have my birthday party at that hotel, Cacao. And I told everyone, okay, you can show up as long as you make a cacao. And my teacher, Cacao, showed up and he was like, oh, you're different now. I was like, yeah, I'm different, Cacao. That's what happens to people. Like they get more mature, Cacao. There was no parking there, Cacao, but all I had was valet parking, Cacao. And when he asked,
Which turns out to be cacao. But one of the
Yeah.
people in the relationship kind of starts abusing that safe word.
Yeah.
And by the end, they, come to a crossroads and agree to say cacao to cacao and stop using the safe word. But it is just the funniest, most beautiful sketch. And I wanted to try to write a straight-faced love song or like reconciliation song about that.
So yeah, no, and totally. The song is beautiful. You're a great songwriter.
Thanks.
But like I find humor in like weird stuff.
Me
And
too.
I want to I want to know, I don't know, really isn't a way to know unless you get on the mic and ask. That would be corny, but like how many people when you play that, I don't know, do you play that song live very much? Not very often.
No.
Okay,
No.
well then, I'll rephrase it then. How many people playing that song on their phones or listening to it, nodding their heads to it, have zero idea that it has to do with a skit with Fred Armisen?
Probably a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted it to be like subtle enough that you
Yeah.
wouldn't know that it's about a show. But I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, we don't play it as a full band really ever, and so I haven't. You're the
Mhm.
first person that's brought this
Oh,
up.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm a
but
big Fred Armisen fan, so it took me a couple listens, I think, and then I'm like, wait a minute,
there are
I'm
dozens
pretty
of
sure.
us.
Yeah,
Yes, it's the kind of thing where if you know, and it's always just like a fun
yeah.
thing, like an
That
Easter
little
egg
inside
almost.
Easter egg that has now been exposed on RueTV.
Yes,
So
love
yeah.
to see it. Hell
So you
yeah,
Ratboys fans, now you know. Now if you didn't know, now you know.
love
But
it.
but anyway, Just a little thing you mentioned. We were talking about the internet and discovery and all that. And I don't really want to talk about the pandemic. It's been done. I mean, you've talked about it in prior interviews, but I do want to talk briefly about one aspect of it, and is how you guys utilize Twitch during that, which is really, really innovative. Specifically, the thing that I'm kicking my ass for missing, which is the 25-hour Halloween episode. Because I'm Mr. Halloween. I love it. And
Nice.
why the hell did I miss that? But anyway, talk a little bit about, give me like the Cliff Notes version of your Twitch show that happened during the pandemic.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, it was just kind of like the perfect storm where we were 2 days away from leaving for a real tour
Yeah.
when everything kind of got shut down. And so we had all this pent up energy and we were like ready to go.
Yeah.
But we couldn't. And so we already had a small green screen at the house, and we I do take pride in the fact that I was like the first person to like order a fucking webcam on Amazon. It just like immediately was like, well, we need to figure out
Awesome.
something to do.
Yeah, right.
Obviously, I don't mean to say I'm the first, whatever. But I was like,
One of the
that was
first,
just
at least. Yeah.
it was just an instinct to like just do that immediately. And then so like it wasn't because we knew we wanted to start doing a show, but a couple friends had invited me to perform on like other virtual like benefits or like concert like festivals that were happening now virtually. And so
Yeah.
I knew I needed a webcam, and so we got a webcam. But then as soon as we had the webcam, we realized we had the green screen, and so we just had this idea to do a virtual tour where we played in places that we hadn't been before. But just in reality, it was like a green screen in our basement. And so we were lucky though, because like Dave and Sean at the time lived with Dave and I, and so we were all together already. And so
Right.
Marcus was the only one who wasn't there, but eventually he joined kind of our bubble or whatever, and we started doing the show together. And yeah, it was just a really like, harmless, wholesome way to like stay like just give ourselves something to do, not even
Stay
just
sane.
like exactly, stay sane, and like even just connect with friends who were going through the same thing as us. Like that's the one comfort but also huge bummer of everything. It's just like everyone was stuck, no one, it's not like
Right.
just us or anyone, so it was kind of weirdly comforting because we were all in it together, but also it sucked because everyone was home. So anyway, we were able to connect with like friends and stay in touch and give us all something to do. And so I'm grateful for it. And now, we still do it every so often. We're trying to do it once a month now. It definitely feels a little different because now, our lives are back to normal. We have so much going on, like carving out time to do the show is kind of difficult.
That's definitely a weird thing. And the weird thing about this show that you're on right now is I started it January of 2020. Okay.
Wow.
So I announced it like late night 2019. I'm thinking maybe I'll just start this Zoom talk show thing. And then the pandemic hits, and then everybody is on Zoom. So
Nice.
I had like 2 months there where it was like, that's pretty unique thing to do. And then it's not so unique anymore, but
well, I mean, people like it, like, I don't know, we have this technology, might as well use it.
Yeah. And I'm grateful for it. I mean, you're probably old enough to remember like the old days of like when there was no streaming, like early days of YouTube,
Totally.
early day. Yeah, like LimeWire and all that stuff. So what do you? It's kind of weird because I do love the technology today, but I kind of miss those I do miss those early days of YouTube and music, online music, because it's kind of like the wild west of the internet.
You have no idea how much I miss early YouTube. And I mean, like, I still use YouTube every day. Like it's probably, I don't really watch TV. I like just watch YouTube, but I learned how to play guitar on like watching YouTube videos, and back when nothing was monetized and there were no ads, and like back when, I don't know how it is for other people, but I find now that my related searches on YouTube are not very like relevant to what I'm actually watching. They're like pretty farmed and so it's
that's how it is. Yeah.
it's weird. So like I used to discover so much music on YouTube just listening to like full albums on YouTube and stuff. And so I miss it a lot, but I'm grateful. I remember a lot of records that I like discovered on YouTube.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I mean those were the good old days. I feel old, but
Yeah, no, 2006,
true.
good year.
2006. Yeah, I was 13.
Solid year.
Yeah.
It was I don't know, it was kind of before the commercialization kind of got their hands on everything, and it became the algorithms. That was like before the algorithms, so it's like, visibility. If you were, I mean, I was uploading videos early YouTube, and visibility, you could upload anything. Visibility was like amazing. Now it's like you upload a video and it's like, ugh, you're stuck behind like stacks and stacks and stacks of other. It's tough. It's really tough to get visibility.
Yeah, there's all these rules now. I mean, yeah, as soon as Google bought YouTube, everything changed, but
Yeah.
so it goes.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to ask you, Julia, was well, now you're doing, past couple of years, and especially like I said, this year you're doing headline gigs. But there's always that thing in the back of your mind of opening up for bands that were kind of like, I don't know, you want to call them dream gigs. Do you have any bands? Well, first of all, it's a two-part question. Who did you listen to growing up when your music tastes were forming? And also, who would you like to, if you had to pick, maybe like top 3 bands who Ratboys could possibly open up for, who would it be and why?
Well, growing up, I listened to a lot of, I mean, in the 90s, it was the golden age of pop country music, especially women in pop country. So I was obsessed with Shania Twain and the, formerly known as the Dixie Chicks, and trying to think. I mean, whatever my mom, so I'm the oldest in my family, and so I didn't really
same.
have, there you go. Yeah, I didn't really have like an older sibling. Well, I didn't have an older sibling or even like an older cousin or anything to show me music. So I was kind of just listening to whatever my mom would listen to, especially in the car. So listened to a ton of Sheryl Crow and Joni Mitchell and
oh my God, my mom loves Sheryl Crow. Yeah.
Yeah, Sheryl Crow. Well, I mean, Sheryl Crow, the 90s were her dominant period. I mean, and that coincidentally or not is the entire span of her 30s. So I find a lot of like, I don't know, inspiration in that. But anyway, yeah, so she was like my idol, like my favorite songwriter growing up. And then as soon as I discovered like the DVR capability, like as soon as that became a thing and on our TV, like Comcast or whatever cable would have like all these music videos just like preloaded.
Oh yeah, on demand.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, and so that's how I discovered like Wilco and Silver Sun Pickups, and yeah, as soon as iTunes became a thing. Anyway, like all these different little and LimeWire, like you said. So I started listening to like I listened to like Guster, who we got to open for, which was amazing, and I'm trying to think, just like, classic indie stuff like the Shins and Rilo Kiley and all those early 2000s bands. And so I feel so grateful. Just there was a lot of discovery going on, and a lot of it happened in physical media too. Like there was a really cool record store where I grew up called Ear Ecstasy that I was obsessed with. But it unfortunately has since closed, but hey, can't take away the memories, baby. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. As far as like 3 bands we'd want to open for, I mean, I think a dream, as far as bands that are like still active and doing stuff, I mean, Wilco is obviously like #1 for me. They're, especially living in Chicago now, they're like the heroes of mine. And we were, unfortunately, we were supposed to play a couple shows with them in 2020. But I'm hoping that we'll someday be offered that opportunity again.
Fingers crossed, yeah, for sure.
Fingers crossed, yeah. But then, I mean, I love the Breeders. I know they've been touring a lot. I know so many, especially like women musicians from my generation, are hugely influenced by them. And so I'm definitely in that group, and I would be like so honored to meet Kim and Kelly they're from Dayton, Ohio, which is my parents' hometown, and
Okay.
yeah, would just be so excited to play with them. And then a third band, I don't know, like one of my other favorite, uh, well, I don't know. It's really hard to say. Maybe like Tegan and Sarah. I love
Okay.
Tegan and Sarah a lot. There's a whole like cadre of Canadian bands that come to mind, like them and
Yeah.
Land of Talk and Chad Van Galen and Julie Doiron. Like if I could just meet or be involved with a show with any of those Canadian artists, I would be so thrilled.
So any of the absolutely good definitely bunch of good artists you just named there. So if that were to happen, I mean, clearly it would the venue. You've been playing bigger venues lately, but like that would be an even bigger venue. Do you get anxiety or any kind of uncomfortableness when you play in front of big crowds or bigger venues like that, or in the future bigger venues, or do you kind of like use that anxious, nervous energy as a positive? How do you? Because me, I would be nervous out of my fucking
Yeah. I don't know. Like I think I don't really get too nervous just at like regular shows because you get the chance to sound check, you get to like have some time that day to feel a little comfortable on the stage and kind of get used to it. And I mean now um playing with Marcus, who's our drummer, he makes me I used to sometimes feel nervous in the very early days when we were playing with different people, just because it was a little more unpredictable, kind of like how the songs would sound, like how it would go. But playing with the lineup that we have had for the last few years, I feel really like safe, and everything feels very stable and like straightforward. So I'm grateful because there's no uncertainty about like how we're gonna play, like it's
how it's gonna go.
I mean, obviously sometimes things go wrong, like you break a string or something breaks or whatever, but I mean outside of that it's pretty similar night to night, and so I feel good. I mean, I would imagine like if we're thrust into some unfamiliar like setting, like if we ever got asked to open for a band playing like big theaters or like arenas or something, that would be a very new experience. And just anything out of the ordinary creates a little bit of extra nervousness, but I don't know. You kind of just gotta figure
absolutely.
it out.
What are some of your favorite Chicago venues for music, or even the play in, I guess, or ones you haven't played in yet that you would like to play in?
Ones we haven't played. I don't know. I mean, the new Salt Shed that just opened is absolutely gorgeous. I'm hoping we'll get to play there someday. There's an inside and an outside. They're both quite big. So, hopefully maybe we'll open for someone there if we got asked, which would be really cool. I don't know. There's a beautiful venue up in Evanston called The Space that I really enjoyed going to shows at. It's right on the lake. It's really pretty. I mean, God, there's gorgeous venue up in the northern suburbs called Ravinia that is like a huge very old amphitheater that would be wonderful to play. They book mostly like classic rock and like legacy acts, but maybe if in 40 years we'll get to play Ravinia.
Or just lie on the resume. Just put like, we've been at it for 37 years and stuff.
We'll lie. That'll be fun.
Yeah. I get a Chicago connection on this show. I've had two, you're my third Chicago guest. I've had clearly musician, but a writer and then a vegan blogger, Natalie Slater, on the show. So
wow.
So I've got a Chicago flavor and texture to RueTV this past year.
Wonderful. So, have you ever been here? You got to come visit.
That's one on my bucket list. I really want to come and visit, but never been. So
come in the summer.
Summers are the time to come, you think?
I know.
Summer or fall. What do you? Summer would be easy for me.
Fall's nice too. Fall's nice, but you run the risk of cold. I don't know. I mean, it's. I don't mind. Actually, fall is probably my favorite season. I love wearing sweaters. I love the chilliness. But summer is objectively the nicest time to come. So, highly recommend.
I know I asked them the same question, but I got to ask you too. Like, what is? I don't know. It's kind of subjective, but what is your favorite food in Chicago?
Oh my God. I
Places or types of food?
I mean, I think jardinera as a condiment, like as a topping, is probably my favorite thing. It's Do you know jardinera? Are you familiar?
The name's ringing the bell, but you're gonna have to smarten me up.
It's yeah, so it's like a relish kind
Okay.
of, but it's chunky. It's like a bunch of pickled vegetables, spicy in like an oil that you would put on an Italian beef sandwich, or
Okay.
this is the big brain shit that I love in Chicago is putting it
Yeah.
on a pizza. It's like
Oh,
a very underrated pizza topping,
hmm.
or at
Give it a
least
whirl.
it's not underrated here, but you know, it's
That's the
something that
first thing.
people
Yeah.
might not talk about. But you can put it on a burger. It's just, I just love it. It's I'm a big fan of like any
Yeah.
tangy, acidic like condiment. So that's my shit. You can put it
Yeah.
on everything. Yeah.
It's good. It's good. Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to come out there soon, sooner rather than later. I don't have
Do it.
I don't have many places I want to visit, but Chicago is one of them. So
We got a big ass airport, so you could probably get a direct flight.
yeah, O'Hare, right? I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
I'm there all the time. Yeah.
Oh. So you not to reiterate something you've said 100 times, but for people who are watching this for first time would be probably interested in knowing that Julia Steiner went to Notre Dame for college, I think, right?
Yep.
What did you go there for?
I studied English. Yeah. I wanted to be a journalist.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
hmm It was cool. I miss my classes, honestly.
Mhm.
I feel like I suck at like curating books. Like I don't know what I want to read anymore, and so I
Yeah.
miss being told what to read. But yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that I think let's see. I mean, you probably did to pivot into music like this, away from journalism to music. Your parents had to be pretty supportive of everything.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
they're extremely supportive. I'm very lucky. Like they, you know, paid for my college and
Yeah.
they they didn't, you know, try to talk me down from, you know, going on DIY tours and,
Mhm.
you know, I couldn't ask for more. They're very supportive and my three siblings, we've always been encouraged to follow our passions. So it's good
Yeah.
stuff.
They didn't even like wince or like give you a second guess when you told them that the band was Ratboys. They said,
No, I don't
Julio.
recall. I don't think they cared.
They didn't suggest Julia and the whatever the hell I said.
You know, I think my dad actually did at one
Oh,
point,
it's
but I
my
immediately said, "Fuck off, Dad. No way. Come on."
yeah, no, I think if I was in a band, my dad would probably give me about a laundry list of different names from whatever I would pick from.
It's
So
a classic dad move,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I really enjoy the contrast in your music. It's such a different kind of style. I mean, a lot of not that a band can't have one specific sound and be good and connect with fans because I know I love plenty of bands. I'm a big punk fan, and a lot of punk bands sound the same. Uh, but your style is so unique where it's like you can listen to an album and you can have a sentimental type song and then you can have a rock your socks off your ass type song. It's a very unique contrast, but it worked. It's like a perfect blend. I don't know what's ahead other than the one song I heard from the window, but can you tell us a little bit about your specific style? Honestly, I don't even know how, like if someone were to say, I would say, I don't know, indie, like how would you classify your style and why do you go about it the way you do with the big contrast?
Yeah, I mean, I think the easy answer is that, and it's not just me, but like all four of us in the band, we all really like different types of music. Like
Yeah.
every month we make a playlist together that's just the 40 songs we've
Mhm.
been listening to that month or whatever. And
Right,
it's
right, right.
always it's always just completely fucking insane, like all over the place. Like we just are, I don't know, we like love listening to different stuff, and like I kind of get bored easily. Like I love records that have a lot of like consistency, like that new Bully record that just came out. I'm a huge fan of hers, and I love the sonic through lines in that album. And I don't get bored, but I think when it's weird, it's different. Like when I'm writing music on my own, or like when we're kind of culling together like songs for a track list, um, it's just like we're not really concerned about like trying to like weed out anything that sounds too different or something.
Yeah.
Like it's, for me, it's always about to just like a sequence, and I just am obsessed with like the format of an album, like an LP. And so just getting into that like 9 or 10 or 11 song length and kind of trying to craft like a path or like a sequence for a record. It's more about what do I want to hear after this and after this, and like sometimes you just want to hear something totally different, so it's like that's what works. But yeah, it's always kind of feels a little self-indulgent, but I don't really care. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's the way it should be.
it's fun.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. When you're writing, is it just you, or does Dave I know Dave helps a lot, but like in terms of the actual lyrics of the song, is that all you?
Lyrics is usually, yeah, it's almost always me. I'm trying to think, like if I ever have doubts about lyrics, I'll ask Dave, and usually he likes them, whatever. But like the thing that Dave really helps me with is more like structure questions, or like he's added some like even like rhythmic ideas before we even bring the song to like Marcus to add drum ideas. Like Dave kind of, I always say, like, this is silly, but he studied architecture in college, and I really do think in some weird like intangible way that translates to songwriting. Like he's just really good at structuring a song, and so I lean on him for that a lot. But yeah, lyrics is me usually.
You think if you didn't go to Notre Dame and meet Dave at Notre Dame, would you have gotten into music?
That's a great question. I don't know. Like I didn't go to college looking for anyone to start a band with. Like I wasn't looking for that. We met very early on, and it just was extremely natural, like our friendship and talking about music and nerding out and like jamming and stuff. But even when we started playing music together, we didn't like say we wanted to have a career. Like we didn't really pursue it seriously for a long time. And so I don't know if I would have met someone else, maybe that trajectory, same thing would have happened. But I don't really it's kind of scary to think about, because I don't know. Like I almost went to school in Chicago or Evanston. I had also applied at Northwestern, and it came very close to enrolling there. And so I don't know if I would have met some of the same people I ended up meeting in Chicago if I went there. I would have been much more focused on a journalism track. So I don't know.
And it's awesome that you found him, because honestly, a school like that, I think you did bring this up in another interview. I'll give you a perfect example. My brother Justin, who's watching this, I'm sure he went to Villanova, and he would tell me all the time, he's like, Rue, it's a good school, but like there is not many like-minded people around here.
In Philly?
Well, yeah, but Villanova is a little different. I don't know. There's just not many like indie DIY minded kind of people, punkish. It's just different. Up. Yeah. So, but he, no disrespect to the school, I'm sure it was good, but a similar situation with Notre Dame, where you're not going to find too many people there with aspirations to start Ratboys with you.
No. Yeah, I got so lucky. I mean, like, I made some of the best friends I've ever made there, and like the one one great thing about what you just mentioned, like kind of the scarcity of bands on campus, is that everyone came to our shows. Like, you know, people were excited by what we were doing.
Yeah.
Because there's no one else, you know. That's not true. There's like, we had some friends, there were probably like 5 or 6 other like either individual songwriters or bands that were active over the course. And then like, so the South Bend music scene that was surrounding Notre Dame, which a lot of students don't really tap into or like search out or seek out, is around. And it's like, at least when we were there, it was like it was thriving. Like there were some really cool DIY spots and awesome shows, like all ages shows happening. And so we were able to immerse ourselves in that as well. And I feel a little bummed because we've definitely lost touch with that scene moving to Chicago. But yeah, I mean, it was a great time. And you're right, though. Like, it was not something that everyone was doing, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas some schools, it's like a thing that a lot of people are doing, like trying to start bands. So we were definitely a bit out of the ordinary, I guess.
Yeah, well, such as life, I guess. But the most important question I need to ask you, Julia, is how in the hell did you become a Pittsburgh Steelers fan? Because I don't see the connection.
Well, my grandpa is from Pittsburgh, born and raised.
That explains it.
Yep, and he noticed in the early 2000s when I was a kid that I was taking an interest in football. The first team I ever rooted for was the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, wow, okay.
Because, well, Louisville, where I grew up, there's no major sports, and so we're kind
of, you gotta latch on to somebody else. Yeah,
we're in the middle of a triangle between 3 teams, and so the first game I ever watched was Super Bowl 30 with the Titans losing to the Rams on the last play of the game, and so that blew my mind. And the Titans I rooted for because they were close and they lost. And so my grandpa saw that I was rooting for the Titans and he took me aside. He's like, no, like you're not, this is not going to be your team. And so he converted me to be a Steelers fan. And then of course they won the Super Bowl a few years later. So it was easy to root for them. They were really good. And so, and they had Jerome Bettis, who was like a Notre Dame alum and just a complete freak of nature. And so it was love at first sight. I was down.
Awesome. I think that's pretty unique. Not many people in the scene are huge ass sports fans like you, but so it's pretty interesting.
There are. That's such an easy way that we bond with different bands sometimes on the road. Like, you know, I mean, obviously, like we have friends who aren't sports fans, and that's totally fine. But like, it's just such a fun, easy thing to talk about when you meet someone else.
It's good. It's good small talk. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
better than talking about the weather, I guess.
Yeah, that gets old fast.
Yeah. So before we get out of here, we're gonna wrap things up. Now I gotta compliment you. I really love the new merch that came out. You have a shirt for the window. Whoever designed that, maybe it's the same person, but that is sick. I'm probably gonna pick that up in person if you have that. If you bring that to Philly, bring a batch to Philly in September, and I'll pick up one. But really good merch. Yeah. And where can people at home find that stuff on your Bandcamp or stuff, I think, right? Or
so we have a website. Marcus, our drummer, designed the website and designed that shirt. He's a very talented designer. It's just ratboysband.com. So you can go there, and if you like what we do, that's the place. So
that is it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Julia, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. This has been awesome. I want to say I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys live again in September at Johnny Brenda's, and I hope anybody else watching this from our area shows up to Johnny Brenda's because it's going to be a blast. And best of luck with the upcoming tour at the end of the summer and everything else. What else do you have planned? Anything else planned for this? Because the album's already out. Album's coming out in September, August rather. My brain is fucking fried. August 25th. What do you have planned for the summer other than anticipation for the album coming out?
Yeah, well, yeah, dude, thanks for having me. Really appreciate all the kind words. We're putting out 3 more songs from the record over the course of the next few weeks. I'm not sure when this will be live, but The Window, the song, is the next one that's coming out on the 29th of June. So that's a week from today. As of today, when we are filming. But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it. We're playing a couple shows here and there in the Midwest, but nothing too crazy till the tour starts. So it'll be good.
Sounds good. And then also, where can they find you? People watching us at home, where can they find you on the internets, on the interwebs? They find you on not MySpace anymore, right? No more MySpace.
I wish, dude. No, no, unfortunately, no. But yeah, we're on all the traditional social medias except TikTok. Well, I guess we have one, but we don't really use it.
People just keep begging me to do a TikTok. I can't get. I don't
TikTok,
know.
it's the last straw for me. Like, I know that if I sign up for that, I will be just beyond the point of no turning back with like my phone addiction. So
yeah, exactly. I'm already on my phone enough with Instagram and Facebook. I don't need another 3 hours a day.
I'm holding out. I'm scared of what would happen with that. Anyway, so yeah, Instagram, Twitter, we're just there at Ratboys.
I'll throw all that stuff in the description so y'all watching can check that out. But once again, Julia, thanks so much for coming on the show. We love Ratboys.
Thank you so much, Ryan. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to see you in Philly.
Yeah, I will say hi to you in Philly. And for everyone at home, thanks for watching. We'll see everybody real soon.
Sounds good.
Cheers, guys. Bye.